Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fire Emblem Binding Blade Let's Play, and we're back in Sakai once again, and after Bolga was conquered and recruited Nami, now we go even further to, like, flush out the rest of the clan, pretty much. And this chapter, honestly, it's one of the, like, it's both the hardest and easiest chapter in the game, like, one of the hardest and easiest chapters in the game, mainly because it's just the first 5 turns. Like, they do throw a lot of shit at you, but after that, it's clean sailing. You can literally just, like, walk through. Oh, yeah, there's also a Fog of War map, and they do throw some pretty hefty enemies at you, but they're nothing to worry about. But this chapter's also, like you can see, very boxed in, and though there is a divide in, like, how you split up the units, the chapter's pretty damn small, which, quite, you know, that's quite surprising for this late in the game, such a small chapter. Yeah, the whatever his faces is here as well. Gonna kill him once again, and something tells me it's gonna be Lena again. But yeah, in the first 5 turns, basically, you can't see it because of the fog. Oh yeah, Chad's back as well because of Thief. But they have 2 bolting users, and it's like, yeah, so... And they have ballistas positioned all around the map, so they'll throw some hefty stuff at you straight away. But if you can get past the first 5 turns, you will be just fine. The rest of it will be piss in a bottle. So in that sense, this chapter, honestly, kind of sucks, because there isn't really much strategy aside from can you deal with these first 5 turns? Yes? Alright, then you're good. The rest of the chapter's really easy. There are strong enemies, but there aren't much of them. Ballistas really aren't anything to worry about, to be honest, even for your flyers. Overall, yeah, this chapter, again, it's just literally just taking the hardest, like, you take the punishment for the first 5 turns, but after that, it's just, you know, it's clean sailing, and it's pretty damn simple. So I'm not very big on this chapter, to be honest. And again, you can see it by the timestamp. I beat it so quickly because it doesn't take long. I mean, you could just, like, the only thing you have to watch out for is the bolting. You know, you have to keep an eye on, like, your weakest units. In this case, it's like Roy and Chad because they aren't promoted. But aside from that, it's just literally like, yeah, walk through, done. Just done. So, you know. Honestly, I think if they were to remake this game, not only would I lay back, I would rather, instead of, like, focusing so much on bolting and ballistas, I would throw some really, you know, really hard enemies in there and, like, cramped corridors to really, really force you to strategize and know how the best way to take them out is. Especially because you can't, like, dogpile them from all sides. Because, again, there's, like, there is parts in this where you've got to, like, just, like, block off enemies, but they're not very hard. So I think if they, like, lessened the bolting and ballistas, still have them, just for that added, you know, sense of urgency, but then have some really tough enemies coming at you, then it would have been, in my opinion, an overall more challenging and better map. The side, maybe make it a little bit bigger, I don't know. But anyway, Chad's up first. As you can see, even without a promotion, he's still kicking all kinds of ass. But because of the time of this recording, it's the 19th of May, 2017, I bet you're all thinking, so Blazing Knight, do you have Echoes yet, and have you played it? The answer is yes, I have Echoes. Yeah, I posted on Twitter, I got the special edition. That box is fucking huge, like, seriously. It's this giant, like, the box is massive. Like, it's like twice the size of the Fate special edition. And you get a lot of stuff with it, though. Got an art book, got the soundtrack, got the Alm and Celica figures, got little, like, keyring things, and, of course, I got the game. Oh, boy, but... So, I did... So, I've started playing it. I've only done the Paralog and the first, like, Brigand fight, because I've got other stuff to do in the day. And again, with these crits, ugh. No, I know you can't spell overkill without okay, but in this case, you can't spell overkill without the Lena. I know it doesn't even make sense, but in this case, Jesus Christ. This girl is crazy. Yeah, sadly not fast enough to double this guy, but what are you gonna do? But, So far, what do I think of Echoes? Pretty good stuff, you know. I can definitely, like, this is definitely a more classic Fire Emblem game, because even with the battle window, like, kind of like Genealogy, you have to take into consideration, Warrior vs. Berserker. That's how I thought it was going to end. Like, you have to take into consideration your defense stat as well. Like, what your attack doesn't mean everything. Like, in the other games, it just says, this is the damage you're dealing, whereas this one, you got to consider attack and defense, like Genealogy. So, no, there's that. Pretty cool stuff, definitely, you know, very simple. Like, again, there isn't much, so far, everyone's just a villager, pretty much. But the characters are pretty cool, you know, they're simple, but they get their personalities right defined very straight away, and they are very likable. The maps, like, alright, if anyone hasn't played this yet, I'm going to soon tell you everyone right now. Terrain will be your best friend and your worst enemy, in the sense that if you can see terrain, get your ass in there. If the enemy has opportunity is in terrain, get them away from it as quickly as possible, because Jesus Christ, terrain will fuck you over. It makes the biggest difference in this game. You really, really have to take advantage of it. So, you know, this game especially, terrain is a big factor, so everyone be aware of that. Don't ignore it, or don't be like, oh, enemies in terrain, it's no big deal. No. It's a big deal. You know, it's a very big deal. But there's just, some of the stuff is pretty cool. You can, like, travel to different villages, look around and talk to people. I think that's cool. Out of the two, Arm's a pretty cool character. You know, nothing special, but we've only just started. But, you know, he seems, like, simple, but his motivation's clearly established. Because ours is just wrecking all kinds of shit. He may have done poorly in the Ilia route, but in the Sakei route, completely different story. He's just killing everyone. But, like, Celica's definitely, like, out of the two, Celica's really interesting. I want to see where the story goes with her. No spoilers, please. I just want to find out where it goes. The voice acting, admittedly, the kids didn't sound good starting out. It was a bit cringy, but they sound much better as adults. And it is actually really nice to see everything be fully voice acted. And, oh god, please stop this, Chad. Thank god. Yeah, see, the bossing people, they'll go after, like, Roy and Chad like nobody's fucking business. This is the only thing that's a real pain in the ass. Oh, Berserk stuff too. Man, Chad is not in the best position right now. He's gonna get screwed over in more ways than one. If only I could promote, then I have a chance of dodging them. Well, what are you gonna do? In this case, yep, on with the criticals. And she lands them way too much. But, you know, I'm only like 50 minutes in. And I'm going to obviously play more of it. But so far, I am liking what I've seen. From what I've seen, Echoes is quite like the maps, just the everything. It's very simple, but it's effective. Like, it's not overly complex. So far, things aren't like huge. And even the story isn't that huge. So, it's kind of like, it's not like a grand Fire Emblem game. But I think it's cool. I think it's pretty damn cool. So, I want to see how the rest of the game turns out. You dodged the first one, but dodge this, you ass. So I am interested to see how the rest of the game turns out. I have noticed, though, the chapters, like, just of the two I've played, but again, Zone 2, I can definitely see why people say the chapters are very box-like. Hopefully, like, not all the games like this, but we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, so far, Fire Emblem Echoes is doing well. How it will fare in the grand scheme of things? No idea. You know, Fire Emblem's got a big reputation, so to beat out even some of the lesser games is a challenge. Like, you know, Sega's like trying to beat out this game, like trying to be better than Binding Blade it's not necessarily easy. So we'll have to wait and see. And goddamn Chad, he's taking a bolting right up the ass. Oh, the pain. So healers on one side, berserkers on the other. Oh boy. But yeah, like I said, they just throw a lot of shit at you in the first couple of turns, but seriously, once it's done, you could just like, you could lollygag this thing. But also, you shouldn't lollygag too much because, oh, here he comes. Basically, you need Diane, that's this guy's name, Sue and Sin all alive in order to get the Gaiden chapter. Sue and Sin should be alive because you're doing the Sakei route, so, you know. Anyway, let's talk about Diane. So, as a unit, very mediocre. Like, his growths, for a pre-promote, growths are pretty damn low. Stats aren't very impressive, except in fact, a lot of them are like a bit lower than what you'd expect. Though his resistance for his class isn't too bad. In any other case, I'd say like he's definitely not worth using because it's just like Sue and Sin that are better in this game. There's no two ways about it. But he does come with the benefit of being a nomadic trooper in Binding Blade, so you know. That's an automatic plus. It's like how in genealogy, like you're a mounted unit, that's like plus 20 points on how useful you are. In this case, you know, it's kind of the same. You know, thingy is very useful. I mean, nomadic troopers are very useful. So if you want to use him, go for it. If you want just another unit to fill up space, fine. Otherwise, he's alright. It's just, you know, don't really bother. Yeah. Actually, it may not be effective on you, but it's gonna work wonders on that other dude. Yeah, they're really throwing the warriors at you. So yeah, they have some powerful classes, but warriors aren't anything to worry about because warriors are not that great in general. I do like them still, it's just, I notice they get progressively worse as the Fire Emblem games go along. Again, I think GBA is where they were like Sacred Stones and Blazing Sword. Not so much Binding Blade, but Sacred Stones, Blazing Sword. I thought they were pretty good. Tellius series, nah, they're okay. Sacred Awakening, they fucking sucks, and they're not even in Fates. They're replaced by Berserkers because Berserkers are just better. They're just straight up better in every sense of the word. But yeah, so in this game, Warriors, not much to worry about. I'm curious to know what you guys think of Echoes so far. I don't know how much you people have played. Probably a lot more than I have, because I know some people will be on that, like, daily. Whereas, you know, I got shit to do, so I'm trying to be on it as much as I can, but not 24/7. I've got Let's Play to do, I've got the main video to do, I've got that little side project I'm doing. If you saw on Twitter, I'm nearing the completion of that. What it is, you'll find out. And I don't know when I'll upload it, and I don't even know when I'll get around to it, but hopefully to like sometime this week, next week, or this week even. But yeah, I'll try and play it as much as I can, but it's definitely fun. But I want to know what you guys think, especially like just initial impressions. I don't want anyone spouting like, oh, this is the best Fire Emblem game ever. By the way, I've only played like 2 chapters. You know, let the game sink in. You know, really take your time and let things sink in. Good level ups. So I just want to know everyone's first impressions of the game. What? How the fuck? That was 24. Ah, I call bullshit. And so does Wendy. Wendy, I'm getting real tired of your shit. That was a bullshit hit and you know it. Oh man, yeah. No, she did not take kindly to that. Yay, more strength. Though it's funny, luck, skill, speed are all 17 across the board. Why are her growth rates so balanced? I swear, like, something that I've noticed when people talk about Riding Bay remakes and Wendy in general is that she's just the wrong class. And she kind of is, because, like, well, her bases are bad regardless of class, but her growth rates lean more towards Cavalier. So, you know, she and even, like, the way she is now, she's kind of built like a semi-paladin, if so to speak. Like, her strength is her weakest stat, everything else is, like, pretty even across the board. So, it's kind of interesting. She does seem like the wrong class to be, considering her stats and growth rates. And she's not the only one. Mega's definitely one of those. Like, she's got fucking ridiculous. Like, I swear her resistance growth is really good. It's like, you're a knight. Your resistance growth should not be this good. But, and then, I'm curious, like, because I know some people say they would do rates here, make her Cavalier, make her Pegasus Knight. I doubt they'd do that because, alright, I doubt that's what she started because canon, she's a knight. Though if you could reclass in Blinding Beard, I reckon people would reclass Wendy and she'd probably get a lot better. But, you know, also, I think, one thing I think would be cool to make Wendy a good armor knight is, obviously make her bases better, but I'd say, take the growth rate she has now, add, like, because majority of them are in the 40s, I'd say make them all 60s, and make her resistance growth around the 40-something. That way she'll be like, kind of like an Est, where she starts not very good and a bit late. Oh yeah, I rescued Finn because I didn't want any more bolting attacks, and, you know, Clarine can survive a bolting like a boss. Lance Reaver, you still suck. So I reckon if Wendy had, like, better starting stats, not amazing starting stats, still kind of low because so that, you know, she doesn't start out too good, but then she has some really overall good growth rates, like, again, mostly in the 60s, 80% HP, 40% resistance. You don't want resistance to be too high because she's a knight. But if you had stuff like that, I reckon Wendy would be much more worth training because she'd be a very versatile knight. Like, again, her stats would be really good across the board, which I know for some people isn't that great because some people prefer their classes to literally just excel. Like, again, like you'd like a knight just to have amazing defense. But I think it would also be interesting to train Wendy because she'd also probably turn out very different each time because they're a lot more balanced. And she'd be, you know, by the end of things, she'll probably be, like, given enough levels, she'll be really strong by the end. Again, she'll kind of be like a paladin, just really well-rounded, strong unit. So, you know, I think if you're going to do that, I think Wendy's growth rates, add a good 20% to the majority, to pretty much all of them except HP. HP's high enough at 80, but everything else, you know, a good 20%. That way, I think it'll be more worth training her. Don't want them too high because then it'll be a bit unbalanced. Though, to be fair, I think everyone in Binding Blade needs slightly better growth rates because they're not awful, but I've noticed, like, everyone's greatest growth is always tend to be HP, and most units, even the ones that are, like, resistant good classes, their resistance growth rates suck. Like, even the Pegasus Knights don't have that good resistance growth. So I reckon they need to be a bit more even. Obviously excel for certain characters and certain classes, but don't make like the difference between HP and resistance so massive, because everyone's HP growth is like really, really good. And I know that's like, to be fair, that's kind of like most Fire Emblem units, but I don't think the difference in scale should be that great. And speaking of like training up units, I wonder how they'd make Sophia good. I'd reckon they'd have to make it so that, alright, don't make her start at level 1, minimum level 5 I think. I know that's still pretty low, but I think that's a minimum she should start at, level 5. What was I going to say? I think her growth rates need to be like really damn good. I would put her magic and resistance growth in the 80s and make everything like minimum 40, around 60 to 70. So like maybe like her skill growth is 40, but everything else is like maybe 50s, no, more like 60s, 70s, and like her magic is like 85 and her resistance is like 80 or 90. That way, again, she could become really damn powerful. But also, start her off on a high level and don't give her such shit-based stats, because god damn it. I mean, that way it should just be easier. She'd still be very difficult to train, but, you know, Wendy, you fucking love that hand axe like no one else's business. But at least that way, there'd be more an incentive. Like, again, if I put all this effort in, she could be really good. Like, Ray would probably just still be very, like, well-rounded across the board, but by the end, you know, Wendy could be really fucking powerful. Sorry, not Wendy. Sophia could be really damn powerful, as well as like an amazing magical tank. Just throwing ideas out there. And I mentioned these two because they're the worst case offenders. Everyone else is kind of alright. Again, only thing is like Kath. I think it would be awesome if Kath was the only character with the contractor that you promote, so there's actually a reason to promote her. And stuff like that. Just little things. Oh yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes. If anyone hasn't logged in yet, first of all, you get massive. You get huge login bonuses. You get loads of like you got 20. I got 20 orbs, and I got a crap ton of like just different like I can't remember what they're called, like badges and crystals and stuff like that. So that was really good. And Lloyd's now available. You can do his map 2 again. I've done the 4-star one already. Actually, it's pretty easy. Like oh yeah, this is the one time Eclipse hits. The one time. It's pretty damn funny. I just also find it really ironic. It's the one time it hits. If only Eclipse... Well, actually, Eclipse doubling would be pointless. Oh, that's just great. Again, my skill set is not so great. But thankfully, everything else is. Took that critical like a boss, Percival. Lloyd's one is pretty simple. I don't know how good Lloyd is going to be, but he's another... You know what? I might swap him out for... I might, again, also consider training him up, because I like training up characters that you get through thingamajigs. I'm going to have a team of mostly villains, like Sophia, Ursula, and stuff like that I'm doing at the moment. Well, I'm also trying to raise up my other 5-star team. And just stuff. There's so many teams to raise, but raising teams in Heroes, it's so much fun for like... Again with the criticals, Jesus! It's so much fun for the first, like, 25 levels, then it starts to become a slog. But, you can't get experience that too easy. They can't make the game too easy for you. Which is why Lunatic mode is kind of... like, some of the chapters on Lunatic are so bullshit in the sense that unless you have this particular unit who's a 5-star focus and excels in this area, yeah, you ain't fucking winning. It's like, do you have a 5-star Hector? No, then get the fuck out this map. And don't come back until you have one. The game is kind of like that at times. It's pretty much have the best units 5-star or fuck off. It doesn't matter, like, even if you have a good units at 5-star. If they're not the best, fuck them right off. That's literally how it goes. I don't know. Oh yeah, it doesn't even matter. You have an Axe Reaver, but what do I care? You're a knight. I have a fucking giant steel axe. I'm so terrified. Level up again. Please, more strength. Ah, thank goodness. I don't care that nothing else got a level up. Strength is what I need the most. So, yeah. Out of all the ones I've faced recently of the like, special event mats, Lloyd's probably one of the easiest. It's pretty simple to deal with. Then again, I had Takumi and Camilla, so... what does that say? Takumi, Camilla, Crumb, and Clarine. So I dealt with it pretty easily. It's pretty simple. Nothing special, but Lloyd's cool. I'm glad we're getting more villain characters. We need more villains and heroes now. Like, we've finally got Ike. We got the thingy people. We got the Echoes bunch. So now we need villains. Give me my Black Knight, give me my Lion, give me Ashnard, give me Nagal, give me, we've got Lloyd, give us Linus, give us fucking Arvis, give us Sephirin, give us the people we need. Give us the bad guys. Everyone loves to play as the bad guys. We all love ourselves some bad guys. And Fire Emblem villains are awesome, most of the time. Actually, you know what? As much as I don't like him as a villain, I'd love to play as Garen, just because he's fucking massive. It'd be hilarious if he was one of the best units in Heroes. It's like, so you suck as a character, you suck as a boss, you suck as a villain, and yet you're one of the best units in the game. Holy shit. That would be so funny. Yeah, thank goodness for the longbow, because he was able to take out all these archers and ballistas. Which is really good in hindsight. Yeah, this is where Sue starts getting quite a few level ups as well. Oh, yay, +1 luck. I always hate that when you only get 1 stat up. Like, I know it's sad, like, to be fair, I'm not too pissed if it's like 2, but 1 is the worst. None is the worst. I always hate that. It's like, well, what's the fucking point? I swear, criticals in this game, you really don't need that high of a crit just to land a crit. You can have, if it's in the 10, it might as well be 100. Yeah, I thought as much. Pretty... Lena, the official new boss killer. Before she promotes, it was Rutka, now it's her. Though she didn't kill him this time, but what are you gonna do? I doubt he'll survive long enough. Oh yeah, and it got her to support with Dying as well. Just because he was available. I wasn't going to make her support for everyone else. She's already doing Shin's one and, using Dying for this chapter, so might as well. It's the same way with Douglas and Percival. Might as well. And this is pretty much just them talking about, what happened, as well as Sue coming to terms with, the fact that she hadn't failed them, It works for Sue. It just shows, Diana's a good granddad. Yeah, he's a granddad, forgot to mention that. And Sue coming to terms with, sometimes you can't have everything your way, and though this is a terrible situation, you did what you had to, which, I think is cool. Again, the Sakaean bunch, they don't speak much, so in their supports, it's like the most they ever get to flesh themselves out, which I think is cool. I think it's, pretty cool. Anyway, we're nearing the end of the chapter, and once this is over, I'm probably going straight back to Echoes. I just want to see how this goes. One thing I actually did like about Echoes is the amount, even though you don't get much experience points, oh, that thief is kind of fucked. You came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. But one thing I do like is the units you kill, at the end it gives a tally of the units you've killed. And the more that one person's killed, the more bonus EXP they get. And I think that's pretty cool. I even like the thing how you could walk around the different villages and different points and just talk to people and find stuff. It reminded me of the base conversations from Path of Radiance, and I really like that. So props to Echoes. There's some cool stuff in there. There is some cool stuff. And oh god, that thing on Twitter that I retweeted when it was about what was it? The IGN, that little segment from the IGN bit where they complained about not having an avatar and marrying people. And then, so many people retweeted that, because I think everyone was in agreement, yeah, IGN, what the fuck? The game, we had trailers saying, this is not like Awakening and Fate, there's a lot of stuff here that's not meant to be there, so going in, you should have cut, you can't look at Echoes the same way you look at Awakening and Fate. It's completely different. In fact, Echoes is very different to pretty much the majority of Fire Emblem games. You've got to look at it just kind of as a game. Don't be so focused on, how much it is as a Fire Emblem game, especially the newer stuff, because this is, the whole point of Echoes is literally, trying as little as possible to be like the newer stuff. I mean, God, I want to see how much influence it takes from the newer games for better, because, I don't know if Echoes had an inventory screen, but we've got one now, and I'm happy for it, because... it would, if there was no, I didn't know if there was one in the original guide, but if there was no inventory screen for you to, trade items, in this day and age, that would have not gone down well. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I think the IGN review, I think they were looking at the game, for the most part, I mean, some complaints can be fine. Again, they did complain about the map design, and I think that's a fair complaint. You can complain about that, that's just fine. But complaining that a certain feature isn't in the game, even though it specifically says it's not going to be too, I think you were looking, again, you had the wrong perspective. And anyone else going into Echoes like that, again, you have to look at Echoes as its own thing. Not even as just how's this stack up to other Fire Emblem games. This is a very unique, and it's like, going into Zelda 2. You gotta look at it just as it is. Look at it as a game, I say. Try to enjoy, try to just play Gaiden as just a game. Don't be so caught up in all the traditional Fire Emblem tropes and how things work. Again, there's no like weapon triangle or anything, you just have to kind of get over that. Just appreciate Gaiden for what Gaiden is, not what you want Gaiden to be. I mean, that's how most games go. Appreciate the games for what they are, not what you want them to be. And all that cutting. Yeah. If I gotta have like a bajillion lockpicks. How did I... Oh no, I think he got healed, yeah. Again with the criticals. It's like a killer longbow. Oh god, if they made those, that'd be some shit. Killer longbows. But yeah, again, like I said, once you've, like, as you saw, once I got past these bolty people, these people just, like, fell over. They didn't even try. They bent over backwards, and I stuck them in the ass hard with a killer lance. Or at the very least, Wendy did. Wendy likes to dig deep. Yeah, but before we go to Burn, we've got to deal with the Sakaean chapter where we get the tome, and I gotta tell you right... No, not tome, the bow. I said the tome. Tome's not until before we get the Binding Blade. Yeah, we've got to get the bow, and oh, that chapter is a hard one. But it's hard for the, in my opinion, it's hard for the right reasons. So anyway, thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed Echoes, and when we meet next time, we're going back to Ilia for the final time. But until then, thank you all for watching. Take care.